Good afternoon, Gabriel.
Hi, Yahtzee.
And good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the second edition of Let's Drown Out.
That should be going away. I don't know why that top bit's not going away.
I'm not sure it will be on the recording, actually. Oh, there it is. We're playing Gabriel's Choice this week.
Regrettably.
Now, this is a game... Oh, a bit of a problem with the alpha channel there. This is a game I know shit all about, which is rare for the games Gabriel brings to these things. Because I didn't have a Dreamcast, of course.
I did. It was awesome. This game wasn't. I was an idiot. The story is, like, I went to the midnight launch for the Dreamcast, and I had two choices of games. I had Ready to Rumble, a really fun arcade-style fighting boxing game,
If you
and
say so.
Blue Stinger.
Which is
this. And I chose Blue Stinger, and it was a mistake that I had to live with. Oh,
now,
dear Lord.
Tell me a little bit about Blue Stinger, because I'm picturing it as meaning something to do with someone getting an erection in a very cold environment.
It followed on from the success of, like, the early Resident Evil. So this game was from 99, if memory serves, and again, I went from, like, the Nintendo 64 to the Dreamcast. That was my jump in owned consoles,
99.
and that was amazing. Oh yeah, this big long black screen, that was an acceptable load screen back in the Dreamcast days.
Well, you know, it doesn't kill the mood.
Christmas special at Hello Market.
Hello, Market.
Hello,
How
Market.
are you? Oh, I'm fine. Full of people and shops.
That's bitter rival, goodbye shop.
By the way, a helicopter just exploded.
Yeah, there's sort of a big exposition dump if you don't push start for ages, because this was back when games were still designed like they were almost going to be arcade games.
So is this guy in the helicopter, or just having a bit of a sleep on the pier?
Yeah, this is Elliot. He was in the helicopter and he managed to bail out, and now a fairy sprite's going to give him a vision of nightmarish things that sound like the start of a metal video.
So far, you haven't sold this very well as an incredibly boring game.
Oh,
I mean,
give it a minute.
Look at it. We've had a helicopter crash and a naked pixie in the first 5 seconds.
If there's no nipples, it doesn't count as naked.
I do like that old-style character modelling where all the limbs don't look like they're part of the body, but look like they've sprouted from the body.
Yeah, they all look like nude Jerry Anderson puppets. It's just the elbows, joints there.
But I'm liking that attention. I'm liking that attention to detail on his hairline.
Oh God, look at it!
Look there, you could spear an apple on them.
I bet there's just dead flies just on them constantly.
And now some spoken dialogue that we're completely talking over, because that's how much we don't give a shit.
Do you read? Dispatch D7 equipped right.
You are missing some pretty hilariously bad voice acting, but one of the things I love about this game as well is all the characters' neutral animations are just this weird drunken wobble. Like, none of the characters just sit still. It's really fucking peculiar, and you'll really notice it.
I guess the animators have to look busy somehow.
Although I will give this credit over Resident Evil, the guy knows how to punch.
Yeah, he's looking pretty tasty there. Oh no!
It's Hacksaw Jim Polygon.
A sinister pirate is watching us.
You can tell he's sinister because he has a bandana.
And swaying back and forth going, yeah, I love you.
I repeat.
I like your hair.
I thought I was on a ship.
But yeah, something's gone wrong on this aquatic research station, and I'm part of the, I think I'm part of the crew of the Sequest DSV. Like,
Oh,
that's,
blimey, this is getting action-packed.
yeah,
Listen to that shouty woman.
don't worry, the action starts packing in thick. Do you remember Sequest?
Yeah, man. I remember
Like,
Sequest.
Sequest is like sub-sliders in the, like, sci-fi thing.
That's a special classification in the annals of history.
Yeah, in the hierarchy.
The sub-sliders.
Sub-sliders, because there are a lot of things that, like, weren't as popular. You know, you got your Star Treks and your Doctor Who's, and they're your majors, and then you get, you know, a little bit lower, and you start getting things like Battlestar Galactica, and then you get, like, sliders. And I love making fun of sliders fans.
I love the name Elliot, because it looks a bit like toilet spelled backwards. Wait, was that
There's a twinkle.
Well,
He's got a thing, I think.
Wait, what was that first corpse wearing?
A lovely dress, actually.
Yeah, I thought that it might have been. Why was she wearing a lovely dress? Yeah, she's shocked to the nines.
It was probably some sort of, like,
Was it
party.
like BioShock? This all happened during the New Year's Eve party or something.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, then there's like Sequest DSV. A friend of mine was actually a big fan of the shitty, like 2-season series, 7 Days. And actually
I remember that.
Yeah, actually managed to download them all. And he said it took him like 8 weeks and was probably downloading it all from one other 7 Days fan.
Yeah, I mean, we give American television a lot of credit, but the only ones we see are the good shit that gets exported. And there's a lot of chaff. There she is again!
Yeah. Hey, that looks safe.
Yeah, that doesn't look suspicious.
I am Crabius.
That man has spider legs. Ain't no,
I don't know what a Hassie is.
Ain't no biggie. Wait, Hasty. That rings a bell. Is that like a drink?
Possibly. But like, I like the drink part. Like, this isn't a good example because this game's just balls ass awful. And
yeah, look at all that texture fuck-ups the emulators having.
Oh yeah. My Dreamcast doesn't work anymore. It was at the point where I could get it to work. Fuck a doodle-doo.
Oh, blimey. Still waiting for this game to get boring, man.
God, look at that.
Jesus, it's like...
Hacksaw Jim Polygon saved us.
And now he's...
Now he can't walk around the monster.
That was close. Thanks for helping me. My name is Elliot G.
Thanks for helping me. You're welcome. Let's
Look
get
at 'em, like,
get to the action. Yes.
The way they're teetering back and forward constantly.
Oh,
It's like they're shaking hands with their groins.
With Tim.
God.
Tim is...
You must be with Tim.
Yes, I am indeed with Tim. You must be with Jeff. Yes, I am with
I'm
Jeff.
from the Beard Company.
Don't know. Is that Easter's answer?
What the fuck was that?
I was impressed by this game when I got it. Because again, I went from the 64 to the Dreamcast. So this was like, oh, look at the fucking textures.
I think we should try to do some live overdubbing here. You know, like, the offie, mate.
I literally don't think we're going to beat the actual dialogue and delivery in any way, shape, or form.
Well, it's a shame we can't hear any of it, because there's no bloody subtitles in this game.
Shit. Oh, uppercut.
Shit.
Oh, it was locked.
He runs like a ponce, mind.
I know I don't have the card to open the door.
Or is that a reductive statement? You found CO2 gate key, and also here is a picture of a white on black gradient for you to enjoy.
Yeah, Dreamcast emulation is...
Emulation's always kind of an inexact science at best.
Yeah, the Dreamcast particularly. Again, I have the Dreamcast still in my dad's house somewhere.
I'm sure you do.
And I still have Blue Stinger sitting around, but it doesn't...
So that means this is perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Emulation's perfectly legal as long as you've got an original copy that you paid for somewhere.
Yeah. But sadly, the Dreamcast used to work if I put it on an angle upside down.
Hey.
Anime body pillow.
Yeah, she's got a stare on that I'm not sure I like. I think the drunk pirate has approached this in the most efficient way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think these video files have gotten fucked up.
I don't know, man. It's kind of metal. Giant crab monsters
trouble.
from beyond the stars.
I mean, that's the trouble. I mean, obviously they're trying to evoke the spirit of a sort of a half-remembered daydream, right? But there's no way to tell if it is a half-remembered daydream or a graphical fuck-up.
That's just the Dreamcast experience.
Man, he loves doing that little gesture. And he loves doing that little gesture. It's like their little handshake they've got.
Oh, I can play again. Okay, here we go. Also, I can swap between characters, so I'm pretty sure I can play as, look at that.
Oh, his name's Dogs.
Dogs Bauer.
Dogs Bauer. So
And
called
Dogs,
that. So
Dogs has like a bow gun, which you can't actually aim very well, and usually
somehow
just fires wild.
Somehow runs even more like a ponce than Elliot does.
And really slowly too. Like,
Yes.
that song's stuck in your head. And he's got a... Oh, I don't have that. I love, like, he walks like a model too.
And the catwalk.
In 2008, when I was working at the Bowery, I was standing out the front on like a fucking freezing fucking Tuesday at like 1 in the morning, and this homeless lady was walking along, and she was wearing one of those shirts that you got from... Oh, fuck. She was wearing one of those shirts that you get from like Lifeline and shit, and it just happened to be a Dreamcast shirt. And
This has just been a long succession of monsters jumping out and then something else shooting it for you.
character. Look at the hands.
Wind, commented Dogs' shirt.
Just, hi, my name's Wind.
Well, it could be wind.
Wind.
Wind me up
Wind
and
me
let
up.
me go.
But yeah, I made eye contact with this homeless lady.
Look at that mouth.
Yeah. Oh, the mouth animation of this is
It
fantastic.
looks like a dog they smeared peanut butter over the roof of its mouth.
And I made eye contact with this homeless lady in a Dreamcast shirt, and she just peed.
If the shell is moving,
Like, just pee came out from under her dress.
That's the best advertisement for the Dreamcast you could get.
Well, again,
you know?
this was 2008, and so that was like just, for me, that was the cap on the Dreamcast era, was like just a homeless lady in a Dreamcast shirt, just peeing, not like squatting to pee, not like, you know, going, can I pee in your venue, just looking at me and just going, well, now's as good a time as any, and just,
What a perfect swan song for
Yeah,
a
that's-
noble console.
that's the...
We were saying
Dreamcast.
before the recording, it was probably the last case of a halfway decent console name.
Yeah, it...
So everything after that's just, you know, shit that appeals to your frat bro twat, like the
dude bros and mate cunts.
the Xbox. Whoa, it's edgy. It's some edgy shit, man.
Yeah, it's got X in it. Twice.
And PlayStation just feels kind of bland to me. This,
that-
here
yeah.
is the station where you must interface in order to play.
That was back when it was like, you know, its competition was the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
It's all fairly dry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the
Lab Town?
whatever happened to calling the Wii the Dolphin or whatever it was?
Just a fucking name.
Or was that the
You know, come up with
GameCube that was
something.
going to be called the
GameCube
Dolphin?
was going to be the Dolphin, yeah. Come on, Wind Dogs.
Yeah, the music wasn't really fitting there, was it?
No. I think something's going to wake up and try and kill me. I think that's what's going to happen in a second.
It looks like he's going for his Sunday jog.
Yeah, I cannot. I'm changing back to fucking the
So-
dynamo that is Elliot.
Sunday jog down the Corpse Avenue.
Giant
Not
crab
in.
monsters, probably okay. Yeah, the Dreamcast. Like, because it used to be a thing, like, you know, the Atari Lynx,
Oh, the Mega Drive.
Mega Drive, well, the Genesis. Like, again, like, Sega actually gave a shit about how they named their fucking things.
Well, not so much they wouldn't name it after a fucking terrible band.
Yeah, that's true.
Very dramatic box pushing music. Yeah, I think it's settling into its boring groove now.
Yeah, box shoving puzzles. Well, puzzles, a bit, probably.
Because this was still around when Tomb Raider was still under core design and half the game was box pushing puzzles.
Oh, I solved a puzzle.
Nice.
Found a dead black guy.
And there's an appropriate orchestral crescendo for that. White on black gradient. Blue on black gradient. You don't know what we're going to do next.
Oh, guns. Fuck yeah, I got guns.
Oh yeah, now we're going places. I'm still not sold on this being a fully boring game.
Oh,
I mean-
that's what I'm actually allowed to say.
I mean, there was a gun right there. I mean, I know Quake 2 had guns, but this is all manner of shades of blue.
Do you want to download the map? Yeah, sure.
So what was since 2001?
Just shitty game console names. That's really, and I think it's sad. Like, come up with a dynamic name. Dreamcast. It was like, yeah, fuck
Yes,
yeah.
we're gonna cast some motherfucking dreams.
Yeah, like that.
We've
That
got
sounds...
our fucking dream fishing rod out. We've got a dream maggot on the hook. Let's cast for some dreams.
Dream maggot.
Yeah, it's like a normal maggot, but it's got Elton John star-shaped sunglasses on. I don't know what I'm on about.
I tuned in, like, late into that, and then it was just... I'm kind of glad I did. Fucking...
Yeah, so after this it was all either Dude Bro names or the Wii.
The Wii, yeah,
Which is
that
supposed
was
to be
an odd choice.
supposed to be a universal syllable for all languages, but Nintendo forgot to check whether or not it means piss in some languages.
Which it doesn't a lot. Well, at least in English, which is the most, you know, commonly spoken second language in the world, so a lot of people will probably get, urine. That's what I have to do.
But eventually, I guess we just got used to it. It's like spotted dick in England. I've seen like pictures of canned spotted dick being passed around non-British websites going, lol. And I'm like, what? That's just what it's called. And I realise I say that just because I got used to it back when I was still like 12 years old and it stopped being
Is there a
funny.
thing in here? Holy shit, there's a thing in here.
Holy shit, a thing.
Oh, tentacles.
Tentacle things. Yeah, this is fairly indicative of a lot of the Dreamcast's output, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, sort of makes me think of Illbleed in a couple of ways, and Shenmue in a couple of others.
Shenmue.
Did you have that one?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy looking for sailors?
Mine-san, what can you tell me about the four voodoo? I love the fucking tone of his voice, just that weird kind of space autistic, like,
Well, this was
hello,
before they could do
I
face...
am human.
Whoa, dogs just jumped out of your butt there.
I love butt
Don't
travel.
take that sentence out of context. Dogs just jumped out of my butt.
Emergency alert. Shuttle section should be stationed.
What was I saying?
Negative pressure on the shuttle holder system has increased.
Oh, there's
20%.
negative pressure.
Shit. I've forgotten now.
The security limitation
Perhaps it's
is
time we
exceeded
move
on
to a
shuttle
topic.
system.
Yeah, sure. You can pick one. It's your job today.
Okay.
I'm playing the actual game. I can't believe we're doing these like fucking 2 weeks in a row. That's a heavy workload.
Well,
I
I
don't know if can cope with this.
felt we should keep a bit of momentum going, and there were some interesting events over the week.
I'm the juggernaut of momentum.
Like the one that caught my eye this week was the Mighty Number 9 controversy.
Activate the emergency stop control.
I'm sorry, just when the color palette changed, it just eliminated all the lines on their face, so the eyes just bugged out. So just
I think they're just really surprised by the fact that there's a controversy surrounding Mighty Number 9.
yeah, you know about that because I don't.
Well, I did a minimal amount of research,
That's the most we expect for the YouTube.
but this is a complex and nuanced issue, apparently. But basically, long story short, Keiji Inafune, the bloke from Capcom who made Mega Man and some of the Resident Evils and Dead Rising as well, actually.
Yeah.
He
The good games.
Yes, he had a bit of a Kickstarter to create a sort of spiritual successor to Mega Man, a 2D Mega Man style game called Mighty Number 9.
Which is nice because Capcom kind of just gave the fuck up on Mega Man.
Yes, and Kickstarter being, a haven for nostalgic fanboys who don't want to grow up, they immediately made something like $3.8 million for this Kickstarter
Sweet beefy Jesus.
to make this 2D game with. Had to start coming up with a million different stretch goals for it. But
Punching a tentacle. Ow.
But all is not well in House Mighty Number 9 because apparently the project then hired a community manager who had been one of the backers, who was a woman.
That seems sensible.
A community manager who was a woman named Dinah, and who'd made several posts in a sort of social justice-y sort of vibe, saying that women needed more representation as video game characters, and suggesting that the main character of Mighty Number 9, whose name is Beck, apparently, which I thought was a girl's name already, but apparently not,
Well, it is unless you're like a weird genre-transcending folk singer.
I suppose. Ah, yes. I didn't even realise that. But she became the community manager, and there was a big old kerfuffle from the other backers, because certain tweets that she'd made surfaced. Certain tweets indicating that she wasn't much of a Mega Man player, but she'd gotten the job because her boyfriend was on the team. So everyone started yelling nepotism and all that. And some people started worrying that she was going to bring a social justice agenda into the development of the game.
Probably use that social justice in inverted commas there.
Well, for one thing, it's hard to know whose side to be on this.
Well, I mean, okay, what was the tweet?
The tweet? Well, she basically, she said something like she's not a Mega Man player. She was saying she's not a Mega Man player.
am I
She's
going? I
supporting.
think I'm about to lose.
Yeah, looks like it. You're pretty fucked. Oh no, something fell down. Where was I? Oh yes. The issue was people were afraid she'd bring some kind of agenda to this thing, and her tweet indicated that she wasn't much of a Mega Man player, but she just said not much of a Mega Man player, but supporting the project because her BF was on the team. And then she made this big post like introducing herself to the community when she got the job of community manager, in which she stated that Mega Man X was the best Mega Man, and everyone sort of jumped all over her for that because she'd written this tweet where she said she wasn't much of a Mega Man player, and then oh, sorry, I'm starting to lose the will to live just describing this.
Oh, I can fight things with my hands.
Because I can't say I sympathise much with the Mega Man fan community. I'm not much of a Mega Man fan. Are you?
Well, I'd agree with the Mega Man X is one of the better Mega Man games. I quite like Mega Man X series.
I haven't played it much. In terms of your retro 2D, I'm always more attracted to the Metroidvania style.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Mega Man X actually had elements of that. Like, you could unlock access to new areas by getting power upgrades that let you do like double jumps and wall hops and stuff like that, and that would actually add to your ability to get around, and you could revisit stages of bosses you'd beat, and if you did it in like certain orders, oh god, this camera, I cannot see what I'm supposed to be doing in here.
Well, that's...
Oh, fuck, oh, there it is.
Well, so was the game getting exciting while I was distracted explaining this controversy?
Exciting isn't the word I'd use for it.
Well, anyway, I made myself au fait with the situation by watching a 20-minute video that one of the Mega Man fans had posted. And you know, when you're listening to someone complain about someone, and as they do it, your sympathies start to turn more to the person being complained about than the person complaining. That's kind of the impression I got, because their main objection to her at that point was that maybe she may or may not have been nepotistically employed, and that she may or may not have lied about being into Mega Man.
I can't punch these things and I can't shoot them. That's great.
What are your feelings on the matter, Gabe?
Well, I mean, if you're a community liaison, you have one job. And it strikes me that saying something like that is obviously, like, I'm not, you know, like, this is one of those ones where, like, the problem fundamentally with Kickstarter is it so lends itself to pitchforks and torches and idiots.
Well, yes.
And that's because people will get this sense of ownership over a thing, and they will go because they feel like they're entitled to a sense of ownership because they've paid money into it, and they will go absolutely butt fucking apeshit.
Well, I think this gets to the nub of the matter, because I don't care about Mega Man. I'm not a woman, so I'm the least qualified person to be discussing that issue.
Well, I mean, one thing.
I mean, one might almost argue that makes us the most qualified people to discuss this issue, having no bias whatsoever.
I'm a soulless husk. I prefer that designation.
You certainly are. But for me, it raises the issue of what are you entitled to if you put money into a Kickstarter thing?
I think fucking nothing. Like, isn't it that? Like, you're not allowed to say, hey, kickstart my, burrito or something to get, like, cash for that.
Yeah.
I think you're entitled to a few basic things, like the person's supposed to give it a shot and actually really try and get the thing done. But aside from that, you're pouring money into a hole. Shut up.
I think you're putting money into a project as a sort of gesture of faith towards the person in control of the project.
Yeah.
I think the problem people had was that they were worried this lady, this Dino, was in a position of creative control over the game, which apparently isn't the case.
No, dude, like, because that's...
Although she did post some tweets that kind of muddied the issue, where she said she was doing design work.
So who cares? She'll build a robot. Like, she'll probably design one of the boss monsters.
Well, this is what
This
is what I've heard. It's just like basically design.
That could be anything. Like, that could literally... I did the font for the continue screen.
I mean, a project this high profile is going to have designers on several levels of development, very few of whom will actually have creative control.
Yeah, well, again, that's one thing I do like about Kickstarter is also, like, the flip side of it is auteur control.
Yes.
This is a guy who made great games and has a great creative sense making a game.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the guy, really. They put the money in because they trust the guy and his judgment. And if he employed, like, someone nepotistically, then so what? I mean, there are certain jobs...
I wouldn't say that... Well, that's... The thing is, that's how you get fucking employed. Like, it's not what you know, it's fucking who you know. Generally, that's going to happen.
There are certain jobs that it's not really worth casting a wide net to find the best possible person qualified to do it. And I would argue that community manager is one of them.
Yeah. I will say that doesn't sound like the best... She's done the best job of being community manager, because that seems like a rookie mistake to me.
Well, this is the thing. This is why I'm sort of torn between the two, like, parties, because...
Because if I was put in charge of something, the last thing I'm going to do is tweet, I don't know anything about this, because I know that's going to drive fans into a fucking lather.
From what I've seen, it did... she she did act a bit unprofessionally in her position, especially because she actually deleted some of those tweets. And deleting your own tweets is a red rag to a bull to the kind of people on the internet who think having access to the Wayback Machine makes them a fucking hacker.
Well, I mean, it's okay to change your mind. Like, if you tweet something and it's like, well, that's the thing, it's Twitter. You could literally just go, I've had a thought, and then it's just out there forever and permanent. And it's okay to go back on those. You're allowed to go, oh, yeah, well, I said that 8 days ago when I was an idiot. Now I've actually read some stuff and done some stuff, and now I feel differently, and here's why.
Yes.
And if you explain your thought process behind it, then that's, it's perfectly fine. That's acceptable. But deleting it and trying to pretend it didn't happen is, that looks bad, and it looks bad for a reason. Like, don't do it.
It's not a mature attitude.
No, and that's, again, you're the fucking community liaison. How many times have we seen this happen? Like, how many fucking times? This is, like, textbook things number one of not to fucking do, is don't act like you don't know, like, become an expert. Google, Wikipedia. Like, literally, if I'm on Twitter, I'm an expert on fucking every fan base ever, because I have access to Wikipedia. I will sound like an expert.
Well, what I've noticed is that, what I noticed in researching this whole thing, incidentally, I had to read a whole page of comments on an article about it, and that's something I don't recommend to anyone. The impression I got is that this is a non-story. Community manager doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
but after a while, the controversy itself was the controversy.
Yeah, that's one of those. That's the problem. Is it's just it.
I mean, whatever agenda this lady intended to bring to the project, probably very little.
And yeah, like I doubt that to begin with.
Whatever agenda she intended, agendas have certainly been inserted into the argument that followed. Suddenly it's all MRAs and feminists and stuff. I think a lot of outlets have sort of warped the issue, saying that the people complaining are only complaining because she's a woman and wants to turn the main character into a woman. Which I don't think is the case, because there are other women on the team that they're absolutely fine with.
Oh, small hassies of food. Oh, it's a drink.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was a drink.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I'm thinking this...
I could go a hassie right about now. Ah, it gives me health back. Oh, all right, rock and roll.
I think hassie was a drink from Illblade, and I'm looking at this game, I'm seeing a lot of like character animations that I think might also be the same ones from Illblade.
Just get the same ones, who cares?
So, I don't know how related those games are. Oh, wait, I've got an iPad in front of me, I can look it up.
Nephilim is following us. Seems like she's
I'll go to Wikipedia and find out. No, I don't need you, Siri, thank you.
Instant expert. That's the thing, like, that's... It's meaningless being, it's such an easy job. Like, I don't get... I could be the community liaison for, like, 14 different disparate communities, and I will sound like a goddamn expert. Because I know how to not say so much that my ignorance becomes obvious.
Well, yes. I mean, you're pretty much describing every single forum argument there.
Yeah, like, just keep yourself vague. And, I mean, it's literally the easiest thing in the world. Do you like Mega Man? Well, I was a big fan of the originals, but, that's not to say that the new, fucking entries to the series didn't have their high points.
Yeah, at least try to bullshit.
Yeah, right off the bat, that's people will go, oh, okay. And then you do literally 15 minutes worth of research. You can look at a Let's Play of it. Ugh.
So why are there monsters again?
I don't know.
Is some local equivalent of the T-virus abound?
Probably. Umbrella and it's... How did that get me to wounded already? Ah, come on. It's not meant to be blocked.
Incidentally, I'm being very professional. I've got my little Bluetooth keyboard attached to my iPad and everything.
My god, that's fucking amazing.
So
These bats have a bunch of eyes.
So Blue Stinger was by Climax Graphics. Designed by the Climax. Laugh it up, you fucking immature little twat.
No, I was just describing these graphics as anything approaching a climax is what making me giggle.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going for the sex reference, as you would be well within your rights to.
Should start a game company and just titty bum schlong.
Yeah, Illbleed was also on the Dreamcast. I don't know how related it was. It was by a different company called Crazy Games.
Huh. What an imaginative and irreverent company.
Oh, Crazy Games, formerly known as Climax Graphics. Well, there you go.
Elliot.
Yes, Crazy Games were Climax Graphics.
Yeah.
Illbleed and Blue Stinger were by the same guys. I had a feeling they were. Have you donated to Wikipedia? I have.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, how much did you put in?
Well, only $10, but I'm a student.
I put in 50, so meh.
Yeah, well, that's good. People don't, like, I love people who bitch at, like, fucking Wikipedia, and it's like, you have no idea. There was a time when, if you wanted to know a thing, you just didn't. Like, if someone around you didn't know that information, you just didn't. Or you had to go to a library. Now you can just go, I want to know a thing, and literally just, you know the thing then. That's a fucking miracle, and not enough people appreciate that.
Well, thanks, Wikipedia. And what finally made me donate to Wikipedia was that I was reading a page about electric eels this morning, and thought, wow, I've learned something about electric eels. If that's not worth $50, I don't know what is.
$50 of electric eel information.
But anyway, to briefly, wrap up the Mighty Number 9 topic, I think it reflects a sort of ongoing problem with Kickstarter to me. And that's...
It's an ongoing problem with people manifesting through Kickstarter.
Well,
it's
yes.
It's that immediately, like, two sides have created the us and them mentality, and no middle ground can be had. It just, it's the same fucking morons that come in and ruin everything. It's the man covered in shit.
I just wonder how sustainable Kickstarter is as a model. I mean, a lot of good things have happened through it.
I know, that's a sad thing. Fundamentally, it's not a bad idea.
It's like, just a lot. It just seems sometimes like a great big coin-operated drama machine, you know.
I know. I think it's that
obviously,
point of, like, just be resistant to the drama. Like, just ignore it.
I guess.
Who cares? Like, really, who cares?
I mean, these backers, obviously they couldn't have consulted the backers on every single issue, right down to who they hired as a fucking community manager.
Which they shouldn't do anyway, because that's insane.
I mean, let's face it, even if you back something, you don't really have any entitlement to...
I thought it was pretty much meant to be a donation thing, and to encourage that, they give you, like, stuff. Like, if you donate, like, X amount, you get, like, bonuses, which is kind of, I thought, what the thing of it was. Like, you're not an investor, you're a silent partner at best. Like, you get no say in what's going on. It's not your fucking job.
It's always a bad idea when the investors start dictating creative control, you know? It's just, you trust this person to be able to produce something good.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's venture capital for you.
Just, you're making your... fuck you, tentacle.
Yeah, that tentacle fuck...
Oh, fuck off!
He fucking took a dive that time. I think he's just trying to get the insurance claim.
Yeah, Elliot, he looks like an insurance scam. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. I wonder if the map's got any ideas. It's been a long time since I've played this. Bay Area. Brain Area, okay.
I'm always a little dodgy about that aspect of Kickstarter that just seems to be about recreating the stuff we're nostalgic about, like verbatim, without being completely resistant to the evolution of culture.
It's an interest. Fucking went back to the wrong goddamn door. It's kind of fascinating because retro is happening faster and faster. Like, the cycle has just gotten much, much, much smaller, and it's sort of an interesting thing to, like, observe culturally. Is just this.
And the retro period it's evoking is getting earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the new Zelda and Super Mario 3D World, I thought was designed with very 2D sensibility without evoking much more 2D Mario games than 3D ones.
I don't know. It was pretty 3D.
Well,
I liked it.
You can move in 3D, but the levels are most of the levels are designed with a 2D sensibility.
Yeah, there were a few, but I enjoyed Mario 3D Land.
3D World.
Yeah, 3D World.
Whichever
one it is.
I know it's hard to keep track.
The Wii U one.
Well, do you mean Super Mario 3D World or New Super Mario Bros. U?
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. Fucking... Names, people.
Yeah, come up with new names. Just call it like you did with Mario Sunshine. Come up with something else.
Yeah.
Call it Mario Buggernuts.
Please call it Mario Buggernuts. No. Super Mario Buggernuts!
Super Mario Buggernuts! Mario will cry on the title screen.
Buggernuts!
Hey, Buggernuts! Wahoo! Yee-hee!
What costume would he get in Super Mario Buggernuts?
Well, obviously just the traditional Tanuki suit.
I thought he'd get like a gold chain and turn into Bueno Excelente.
Well, just, a suit with bollocks on it. Because the original Tanuki suit did.
Ah, shot that guy's head off. Did you see that? Hey, he's still coming at me.
Yeah, and his neck stump is spunking white stuff.
That's unacceptable. Go away.
Because the alpha channel's gone to shit. And there's no, partial transparency. It's all
Dreamcast emulation.
It's all or nothing, people. Well, do you think
The sad thing is, this is only marginally better than worse than what the original game actually was.
do you think we milked that topic enough?
Well, I mean, again, it's the thing is, people want enemies, and that's the problem when you make your life about a fight.
I think that's the problem with a lot of social justice movements. That it's just about framing it in terms of who's with us and who's against us.
Yeah, and that's not what you want. Like that was like seeing like the thing about
He's always wiping his face.
yeah, he's sweaty. He's like me. It's hot.
Yeah.
But like seeing Nelson Mandela, and he was talking about how
Now that's a topical shift.
yeah. Well, I mean, no, I mean this is it ties in. But I mean, he was talking because he's a guy that could really easily have just hated motherfuckers for a really good reason. Like no one would have said boo if Nelson Mandela got out of prison for 27 years and was like fuck white people. Like everyone would have been like, yeah, he's had a bit of a tough time of it. But he specifically wasn't that, and that like to hate, to love in the face of hate is hard, and that's what made him like interesting and good.
And of course, hate just begets hate.
Yeah,
doesn't
and
it?
that's the thing. Like you don't solve problems of hate with more fucking hate. You don't like.
Yes.
It's like
That's someone has to be the big man.
yes, and
I mean, the sentence.
these
The
pseudo
sentence.
social justice people are just like scream and want a target. Like they just want someone else they can hate. And
Yes, the sentence I'm fond of is, it doesn't matter who started it, just who has the courage to finish it.
And it's just, and one of the things that people forget too is that every like fucking hate monger out there is an actual human being that you have to understand. Like you when you turn other people into monsters or into evil, you immediately make the problem impossible to solve. Like how are you supposed to communicate with a monster?
It's when you other them that all
man,
possibility
I've
of
gone.
debate is
Look
lost.
at his face.
Because obviously you can't. There's just this assumption that the other side don't listen.
Yeah,
Because
or,
of us.
fundamentally different and won't.
Wait, the alpha channels are working now.
Are they?
Yeah, look, the glow around the fairy lady isn't just all white across the walls, and the bloodstains aren't all white. I mean, the floor's gone red. I mean, that's a given.
Oh, fucking hell.
Would it be worth advising you to use a weapon for a bit?
I'm out of handgun ammo. I need to find another shop.
Look at you holding your guts in.
I have some hussy, or some hassy.
Not hussy, that's
Hussy.
a different thing.
Got some sweet, delicious hussy.
Bit of a Freudian slip
Small
there,
hussy.
I think.
I will use small hassy now.
Yep.
Sweet hassy eases
Yeah.
the pain.
Never get enough. Are you littering twat?
Yeah. I like classic hassy more than that horrible new hassy they released. I'm not fond of that.
Oh, I see he's got 2 levels of limpy animation. One slightly poncy,
Fuck.
one very poncy. Can you... Yep.
Listen
you're
to
on
music. That's fantastic. Oh. I'm gonna die.
Man, you got stun locked, son.
Yeah, I was not able to move. That's a well-designed thing. That's because you know a real frustrating thing. The enemies don't have a proper stun lock.
Yeah.
It's like the hardest bit in God of War was at the end when you were trying to keep your family from dying, and all the
Oh, yeah, fuck
Kratoses
that.
had just like once their attack animations started, you were screwed. Like that was just like not disrupting them in any way, shape, or form.
Well, you could block.
Well, no, but when they attacked your family.
Ah, yes.
That was the thing, they
there
were
is
all
that.
going for your family. Back when Kratos was a character.
Well, use the electric attack.
Yeah, well, you ran out of magic, though. That was... because
Well, get some more then.
I was doing that on, fucking crazy, wacky-ass Spartan difficulty. That's one of the only games I've gone through
that
on
was,
harder.
That was notoriously hard.
Yeah, that was not easy. Nap room. Ah,
Ah, okay.
gonna have a lie
It's
down.
not sleeping quarters, it's nap room.
Nap time! I'm half tempted to kill a bunch of things just to get money and...
Is this not like an inevitable result of the dumbing down of signage?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, it'll just be a picture of, like, someone cuddling a pillow. Just like McDonald's, menus these days.
Yeah. This is the thing you want.
Yeah.
Remember this?
You want food? Yum yum for in you? Yes? Yum yums?
Tasty. It's like having a conversation with a really old person. You like him, don't you? Yes.
I look forward to getting that old. I'm curious. Like,
Would you like me to put the telly on before we abandon you for the rest of the week?
See, I think like our generation will have it a little bit better in terms of being old because
Yeah, man, because we're inventing mecha suits.
well, that and like, you know, I'm used to share houses.
Yeah, you should grow up, man.
No.
Move into a solo bachelor pad like I did. Look at me now with my glamorous life.
It is amazing.
We got this whole couch to ourselves.
But no, like, you know what I mean? Like, you've lived in share houses and stuff. It's not going to be that much
Yeah,
of an
it was
adjustment.
shit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know, this will be an old folks' home. And you know, like, by that stage, you'll be able to take drugs and not really care. Like, who cares? Like, I'll you know, if I'm, like, falling apart old, I'll go back to MDMA. I'll have a great
It's
time.
always time to take drugs and not care.
Don't listen to him,
There's
kids.
literally no point in life where that could not apply.
Look at this run animation go down this hill. This is amazing.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to, like, you know, accelerate too much. I've done that, going down a hill.
I imagine you losing control of yourself going down, like, one of those long escalators at, like, the shopping center.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, God.
careening into an old lady.
Out of the way!
Gangway!
I'm on a collision mince.
Collision mints. Alright, what's one of our other topics?
Oh, yes. Well, the other thing that I think we both thought of including in the list, and relevantly enough, is the YouTube copyright thing I've got written down here. So I explained the last topic. Why don't you take the honors for this one?
Well, I'm only sort of peripherally aware of it because I'm not really sort of as bizarre as it may sound, I'm not really involved in the whole YouTube culture thing.
Well, me neither, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I make my websites for an external site, make my stuff for an external site to pay me
I leave
with
this
a
all
contract.
up to you. I just, I come over and talk with you for an hour or so, and then I just fuck off home.
Well, the person this affects is people who monetize YouTube videos, and I don't, because I make enough money from my escapist shit. It's not that I haven't been tempted, but there are a lot of people who make a significant amount of money from Let's Plays on YouTube, and in the last week or so, there's been a massive crackdown on videos showing gameplay footage.
Here's what I think's gonna happen. They're gonna start official Let's Play outlets with official Let's Players who'll probably get money and will be completely at the behest of the companies they work for.
Well, I'd say that there's already some of that.
Yeah, but they don't like not control. That's the thing. They want control, and there's no. Because the idea that someone will watch a Let's Play instead of playing the game is bizarre.
Well, a large number of the content owners, like game developers and publishers, have actually gone on the record saying this isn't us doing this. We're fine with Let's Plays because Let's Plays almost guaranteed to increase sales.
Yes, because you can see what a fucking game looks like.
Yeah, I mean, if you sit next to someone playing a game, as I am now, if it's a good game, like you're most likely to say, "Hey, pass the controller. I want to go."
Hey, let me have a play of this.
That's why it's called a Let's Play.
Do you suppose it's also it's combining with the new consoles push toward their own?
I
streaming
momentarily
services?
zoned into the game for a bit and saw, oh, box pushing. Back to the topic.
Hey, box pushing. Like that's what I think it might have something to do with. Like
Box pushing?
No, well, box pushing, yes, but the fact that things like the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 have their own streaming services.
Yeah, they certainly are pushing the Xbox.
Oh, I don't have the key. But you know what I mean? Like it seems like they're trying to take it away from the community and get it under nice, comfortable control.
That was the concern I expressed when I first heard about the PS4's inbuilt streaming things. I was like, to what degree are we permitted to edit these videos? How long are we allowed to go
express an
on
opinion
for?
about how fuck awful the game is.
Yes. I mean, it seems to me like, as you say, the owner of the game's trying to maintain control over the critical culture surrounding it.
Well, that's what the purpose of things like community managers is. It's they want to control the discussion. Because right now, like the Xbox, they didn't want anyone to call it the X-Bone. They wanted it to be called the One. They wanted everyone to walk around calling their system the One.
You know,
And
even my pre-order receipt called it the X-Bone.
Because that's Of course that's what it's going to be called. I don't know how anyone was so delightfully naive that they didn't realize that people were going to call it the X-Bone. Like, that's...
Took me a while to come up with a similar derisive word for the PS4, but I got one now.
Oh, what?
I call it the piss paw.
Ah.
See, that's good.
Well, back in the old days, we just used to call the original PS1 the phony gay station.
I remember that.
Yeah. That's some classic, how old was I then? That would have been some year 7.
I guess that was the advantage of Xbox. There was no way you could twist that without making it sound a bit sexy, you know? Oh hey, dogs came out your ass again. I almost forgot about him.
Wind.
There's a wall, mate.
There must be another way.
What's your plan?
Thanks, dogs. Fuck, you're helpful. I'm glad I've got you along on this.
You know,
I found
think
hello card.
I think
Hello.
Dogs is the breakout character of all this.
I'm gonna cosplay as dogs next Supernova.
Yeah.
Actually, you got a beard. You're already there.
Well,
You just put a
I'm not-
pillow under your shirt. Give you a yellow wind shirt.
But I'm not stocky.
Well, we just
I'd
put a pillow.
I'd cosplay Gordon Freeman if anyone.
You really should do that. Like,
You grow a beard and big dogs power.
I don't want to be dogs. And besides, he's like, I'm barrel-chested. He's barrel-stomached.
Have you ever tried growing a beard? I've never seen you with one.
I'm pretty sure it had happened now. Like, for a while, it just wasn't gonna happen. But now that, like, I don't know, my puberty's continued on into 30, I'm finally starting to get, like, beardy.
Have you considered just growing a moustache? Because looking at you, you got the sort of nasolabial face that I think could wear one quite well.
Okay.
You could be like the next Tom Selleck.
Okay, that's everybody. That's the nicest thing Yahtzee's, or at least the nicest intended thing Yahtzee's ever said to me. So Yahtzee would find me handsome with a mustache. That's good to know. I don't know.
Oh, I already find you handsome, mate.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm getting there. I don't put a lot of effort in, but fortunately, there's just less expected of man.
Well, you say that.
Yeah, that's true. It's changing. Everything's hard now. I don't like it.
It's so hard to attract women
I know.
by sitting at the bar, gazing at them passive-aggressively and being too afraid to go over to them.
I'm staring at you. Why won't you love me?
Are we getting off topic? We were talking about copyright.
Fucking respawning monsters. That's just spifferoony. Thanks.
You know, I don't think we're going to get a good debate out of the copyright thing until one of us presents a dissenting opinion. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good that the publishers are clamping down on something because it basically shits over themselves doing that.
I know, nothing, it's just that great thing of, hey, we don't understand how this works, but the idea of people doing stuff that we don't have immediate and direct control over gives us the willies. So guess what? We're taking it away.
I mean, yeah.
Great, now these things are going to reload, watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, there they are again. It's the Castlevania problem.
Castlevania! I can't hear that without hearing. Do you remember Captain N, the Game Master? Like that terrible animated series?
Yes, I know of course I know of Captain and the Games Master. We were born in the same decade.
Oh, fucking... Shit!
That's a really great view of the floor you've got going on there.
That's not my... There's no camera control. There's no 2 sticks.
Oh, that's right. There was only one analog stick on the Dreamcast, wasn't there? Yes, we're gonna cast your dreams as long as your dreams involve shitty camera work.
I'm gonna cast your dreams. Alright, fuck these monsters. I've got enough money from them. I'm running past them.
Yeah, you do that.
Way to go, crab face.
Yeah.
You fucking suck.
Don't mind me, just holding my guts in.
Who's standing around trying to come up with the next zombies and goes, you know what? Crab monsters.
Why not?
Well, this is probably why not.
I guess there was a time when they were trying to get away from zombies, but they just
Yeah.
kind of went straight back to zombies after a while, didn't they?
I mean, look, I love zombies. That's my... all of my arguments are supportive of the zombie agenda, because I've stopped biting me.
Oh, I see. You've got a zombie agenda.
Yeah,
You're
I
going
have
to work
a-
your zombie
A
agenda
very
into the...
direct zombie agenda.
You're going to become the community manager on a game project and
Called
work
No
your
Zombies.
and work your
I'm
zombie
gonna-
agenda into it.
I'm gonna become the community manager for a game about aliens and just be constantly talking about zombies. Hey, we should get some zombies in here. You know, it'd be great if these aliens were zombies. That won't change anything.
Well, a lot of zombies are created by alien viruses, aren't they?
Yeah, or radiations, depending on what era you're living in.
Actually,
Ugh.
speaking of...
Fuck.
What the hell was that gesture you were making? It looks like you were, like, sort of twitching in impotent rage at the person.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing.
What was I talking about? Oh yes, did you ever play Resident Evil Revelations? Speaking of crab zombies.
Which one was that?
That was the one that was on the 3DS first, and then it got a Wii U
Oh,
release.
yes, I did play that.
Because the thing with that is that all the zombies in that are based on deep sea creatures, which
Yeah.
is a good plan because deep sea creatures are fucking terrifying.
They are weird. So
Yes.
very weird.
Creatures created in a place where nothing that it is intended to mate with would be able to see what it actually looks like.
Magazine of arrows. Oh, okay. Shotgun shells. I wish I had a shotgun.
Wouldn't it be a quiver of arrows? Or is it just a magazine about arrows?
Yeah, it's Arrow Enthusiast Monthly.
Yes. What bow?
What bow? I've really wanted to get into archery, but the problem is there's been a bunch of stuff about archery out, so now everyone wants to get into archery, and I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of tools.
Yeah, I know some guys who do archery.
Yeah. I hate that.
Well, that's completely not what we're here to talk about, though, isn't it?
Welcome to, ooh, rental video.
Welcome
Remember
to the
those?
welcome to the wonderful world of Let's Drown Out.
Let's drown out. I can't wait for the complaints of us getting off topic when we started out by saying that this was specifically not a topic thing.
Well, you know, it's nice to have topics.
Well, yeah. Well, it's loose structure around which one can sort of, you know... I had.
You know, I just feel like we should at least try to come up with a summary for these things.
Well, what were we talking about?
YouTube copyright claims. The thing that I heard about this is that most of it came about from an automated system that automatically checks videos for, in particular,
Mentions and, yeah.
music from games, because there's already it's fairly easy to do that. You can get like iPhone apps that recognize songs and tell you what the name is.
Huh. That's interesting. So, okay, so it's just...
So
okay,
they've got an
seriously,
automated system that's just like handing out automated things, but the thing is, the onus is on you to prove that you aren't.
Yeah. Which is dumb, because anyone's got that time, ability, knowledge.
Yeah, the thing is, fair use is an important thing to have.
Yes. Well, no, I'm completely on the side of the fucking Let's Players on this one, because anybody saying that a Let's Play is going to cost a fucking sale, that's only going to happen if the game is shit-fuck terrible, in which case, fuck you, fuck your terrible game, we deserve to know it's terrible. Remember how, fucking Alien Colonial Marines. Yeah, didn't that have like a fucking whole thing, like a...
It had a preview video that was, there was a gameplay video released that was did not.
Wasn't there like a
resemble-
journalist blackout before it was released though? Like they
Possibly.
Yeah, I might be wrong. Someone chime in if I am, but I vaguely remember that there was a fucking big journo blackout before it, so people couldn't say this is fucking ass, don't buy it. And people bought that fucking game, man. Like that is. I mean, we played it.
We certainly did.
And it's just so, like, not just bad gameplay ideas, bad gameplay mechanics, bad execution.
It was the kind of bad that people actually went out their way to try suing it for being bad.
Yeah, and...
Because they'd released that video that was nothing like what the game actually
Nothing like what the game actually was. And it was so terrible... I mean, just all of the basic parts of it were bad, and then on top of all that, it was glitchy as fuck. So it's like,
Yeah.
Like you should at least get one thing right. Like get one thing fucking right. What the hell?
Well, there was one thing about that where people started passing around videos of like the twitchy alien that just walks past you without attacking you.
Yeah, or, you know.
And some people passed that across as, look at this stupid AI, the alien's not even attacking you. But I think at that point in the game, that was the bit where the alien is supposed to be blind. So if you stay still and don't make any noise, it doesn't attack you.
Oh, those ones walk like Mr. Burns. I loved those.
Yeah, those ones. I think there was a bit of
Fucking
miscommunication there, but, you know, not to defend the game or anything.
No.
So-
It really is a terrible, 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 terrible game.
But anyway, my conclusion with the copyright thing is that maybe owners of the content are within their rights to pull videos that feature it. It's just that they're probably not well advised
No,
to.
being within your rights to do something and it's being a good idea are very fucking different. And
Yeah.
you're just hurting, again, you want a community. You want people to talk about your game, to love your game, to make gifs of it, to fucking, you know, to spread the idea of the game. Because not only that, but it extends its sale life.
Even
you
a
know?
bad game can get around a bit thanks to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of people were Let's Playing Ride to Hell Retribution just because it was so horrible.
Yeah, I've heard that. But I mean, that's, you know, and again, like, if the game's good, you want this. You want the community. And hurting the community doesn't make people like you, doesn't make them buy your game. And it's this whole, it's the same thing that happened with, you know, the new internet distribution systems, where it's like, you know, companies don't like it and they want you to buy the old crap, and then you get companies like Netflix. And I remember reading a great quote by the current, like, fucking head of it, and he was saying, we wanted to become HBO before HBO became us, and they're well and truly on their way to doing that. Like, they're making their own fucking content that's really good, and I've got a Netflix account subscription, and I bought a fucking extra little geo unblocker doohickey purely so I could have access to Netflix. And the whole thing of it, like, you know, it's like $16, and it's great. It's great value. It all works out well, and they're gonna survive into the future. Your stupid fucking backwards ass, like, no, we're not gonna do this internet bullshit attitude is not gonna fucking last, and this hurting the fucking community thing, that's not gonna last either. Like,
I mean, you never get anywhere just telling people, no, you can't do this.
yeah.
I mean, that was like when the music industry was trying to shut all digital download people
No,
down.
and it's just like,
When they didn't realize that the smart thing to do was to embrace it and, like, charge reasonable prices for
Yeah.
it. It was like Gabe Newell said, pirates are just dissatisfied consumers. If you make it easy to get, most people are happy to pay.
yeah. And I have, since getting Steam, I have bought shitloads more games. I will say that conversely, I will not pay more than $30 for a game these days. I just don't see the point.
Well, how do you expect those $50 million games to make their money back, man? I think you're just got something against the 1%.
I'm stuck behind boxes.
No, video game budgets are ridiculous these days. Nobody needs to use
Without
that
knowing
level.
a damn thing, I'm going to completely blame the marketing department just because I don't like them.
Yeah, go on then.
I'm just going to
Probably
express...
safe to blame them for most things.
Yeah, I'm going to
frankly.
express a prejudice and just... See, this is what I mean. Like, you could save money by having, you know, things like Let's Plays and stuff do your marketing for you, things like word of mouth. And then you could... not only could you save money on paying a bunch of semi-competent jerkbags to market your game, but you could also, you know, maintain the community around it.
Well, the only reason games cost so much is that they feel they have to show off the technology. The only reason they feel they have to show off the technology is because they're on new consoles, and consoles compete by having the most powerful technology. But if there was not a competition over technology, if say all gaming was just on SteamOS, for example,
Dun dun dun.
then there wouldn't be that competitive drive to have better graphics than the other guy, because everyone would be on the same standardized model.
Speaking of, though, and it gets back to that, like, becoming, you know, HBO before they became us, like...
Actually, SteamOS was our next topic, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not sure the Steam box is going to be, like, I honestly think it's going to step more into the problems that consoles had than I think people suspect. Well, because remember, like...
I think it has the potential to fix all the problems consoles have right now
How?
by standardizing the format.
Yeah, but the problem with the standardized format is PC games don't work that way. Like, isn't that the problem? Like...
Well, increasingly, like, a lot of PC games are made under the same engines, like Unity.
It's getting a bit better, but I mean, you know, like, for instance, I have a decent fucking PC. The Tress FX and fucking, like, you know, individual game makers will still make games that...
You keep going on about that,
Well,
Tress
'cause
FX.
it was such a weird thing. Like, it literally... Like, it was perceivable, but not... It didn't help the gameplay. It didn't do anything. It didn't...
Well, you know, if you just pared it down to what you needed...
Well, no, but you know what I mean. Like, the game was pretty without it. The game was very pretty without... The Tress FX was just a bizarre addition on top, and it's like...
PC gamers can be weird about that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God, I know. But I don't see how... Like, if they're going to try and make a standardized kind of PC-ish game with standardized architecture... I was attacked by a crab monster, you fucking idiot. What are you...
That took a while before he answered them, didn't it?
Can't you see? He's sick.
Can't get over that gesticulation.
Got a key. Where's your medicine?
Sorry, what were you saying?
I don't know, I'm enthralled.
Yeah, I can see why. It's enthralling stuff.
Pills?
At the pharmacy stand.
So we're getting pills for a man.
I have 42 minutes to get Devil in his medicine.
Oh wow, action's hotting up now. Forgive me if this seems a bit low on the priorities list, considering there's a million dead people already.
That in like 42 minutes in real time. Apparently it's in like the... Oh god,
I guess that's just how long this game is.
Shit.
Somehow I doubt there's a speeded up car driving sequence, like in some games.
That driving sequence in Shenmue wasn't very good.
I was talking about Consuming Shadow.
Ah.
Play the beta now, kids.
Play the beta now. Yahtzee Crowshaw's actually a good game.
Fuck you, man.
Well, no, it's I'm a big fan. I've been on such a weird survival horror bend lately, so that you've made a nice survival horror game has pleased me.
Yeah, we all learn and grow over time, don't we? There's some shit on the internet I wish would go away from
Really?
my very early days of being on the internet. Comes back to that deleting your tweets thing, isn't it? You
Yeah.
just have to accept that this is going to be there forever.
Well, that was a past you. That's okay. Like, because this is the thing. It's one of those shames that everybody has. It's like, oh, you did something stupid when you were like 20. Really? Let's go back and see you when you were 20, champ. See what kind of, like, you know, amazing heights of fucking fantastic cool you managed to reach, butthole. Like, don't be a butthole about people's fucking youth or shit they've done in the past. Unless it's like, you know, I raped and murdered 80 people, then alright, that's probably a bit of a thing.
When did you rape and murder 80 people? Was it like all in a row? Did you have a little queue and a velvet rope?
The 80s, man, they were a crazy time. Everyone was doing it.
I think the thing about the internet...
There's nothing in here. It
I mean,
remembers everything.
The thing about the internet, you understand...
Can't see camera angle.
Yeah, that's helping. You understand the principle of you're only as good as the last thing you did. The problem with the internet is keeping everything you've ever made.
Everything you've ever done, yeah.
Is that
easily
you
accessible.
you make something good, and someone looks at it and goes, "Wow, that's really good. I'm going to see what else this guy's done." And then they play something really shit you did. They go, "That's my last impression of the person. That will forever taint my image of them."
I definitely think we need to evolve beyond, like, you know, like you have to be willing to change. And the problem is people have that attitude of, you know, their arguments aren't just arguments; their arguments are them. So they can't change them because that will admit being wrong, and they can't be wrong. And it's like, fuck you, you're gonna be wrong about shit.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's like the "you are not your work" thing.
Yeah.
People criticize your work; they're not criticizing you as a person. I mean, a lot of people have trouble separating the two. Even I still do at times. I always read like my feedback emails with a slight sense of dread. So yes, the Steam OS has been released. I don't know much about that.
It's based on Linux. There's my knowledge of it.
Yay.
I don't know. Again, because they apparently they're bringing out 2 standardized sort of, you know, units, and I'm just not sure how that's, because isn't that just a console?
Well, it's a open source console, so anyone can make the hardware. It just runs the same OS.
That's interesting.
So it could be like DVD players. Like anyone can make it, and it all plays the same games. And you don't get the competitive bullshit that drives all the problems with consoles. That's why I feel positive about it.
I look forward to Atari 2600 levels of quality. I actually think things are a lot better now. Like, that's the nice thing about the internet is, if something's broken or doesn't work, it can just immediately be like, hey, this is broken and doesn't work. And then sometimes people can actually fix it, because they're not giant anuses.
It's the beauty of this massive network of communication. But we must take the rough with the smooth.
Sumo t-shirt for $720. That'll do things.
If we accept that we can immediately find problems for our PC hardware issues and immediately find solutions for those problems, and if we can accept that we can put Kickstarter pages up and get donations for a worthy cause, we must also accept that a whole load of shit's gonna happen as well.
Good with the bad.
I mean,
Acid tank. Sure.
the world
Plasma
is,
magazine.
on balance, a better place to be in than it was 20 years ago.
It is. I mean, that's... And the trick to, like, deflecting this shit is just to not care. Like, you just have to go, I don't care about that.
All
Fucking hell.
all things are transitory. Sic transit gloria mundi.
Yeah, and this is one of those, like, you can empower yourself by not giving a shit about a lot of the dumb things. Because the dumb things, short of someone getting in your face or, like, you know, telling you can't get married, very little of it's actually directly affecting you. Like, it's one of those things where you build yourself by just not listening to it.
And I think to myself,
Everyone's
what
a bit of a cunt.
wonderful world.
Go Limpy, go Limpy.
I think to myself.
Where's the chemist? Maybe the map will tell me. Maybe the map won't say shit. City area.
What a wonderful world.
Stockroom. Okay, so it's got actual useful. Where am I now?
I'm bored, can we stop?
Fuck a doodle do.
Oh, blimey. Still waiting for this game to get boring, man.
God, look at that.
Jesus, it's like...
Hacksaw Jim Polygon saved us.
And now he's...
Now he can't. He can't walk around the monster.
That was close.
Vroom.
Thanks for helping me. My name is Elliot G.
Thanks for helping me. You're welcome. Let's
Look
get
at him,
let's
like,
get to the action. Yes.
The way they're teetering back and forward constantly.
Oh
Like they're shaking
God.
hands with their groins.
With Tim.
Tim is...
You must be with Tim.
Yes, I am indeed with Tim. You must be with Jeff. Yes, I am with
I'm
Jeff.
from the Beard Company.
Don't know! Is that Easter's answer?
What the fuck was that?
I was impressed by this game when I got it. Because again, I went from the 64 to the Dreamcast. So this was like, oh, look at the fucking textures.
I think we should try to do some live overdubbing here. You know, the offie mates.
I literally don't think we're going to beat the actual dialogue and delivery in any way, shape, or form.
Well, it's a shame we can't hear any of it because there's no bloody subtitles in this game.
Oh, uppercut.
Shit.
No, it was locked.
He
Well,
runs
fuck you.
like a ponce, mind.
I know I don't have the card to open the door.
Or is that a reductive statement? You found CA2 gate key, and also here is a picture of a white on black gradient for you to enjoy.
Yeah, Dreamcast emulation is...
Emulation's always kind of an inexact science at best.
Yeah, the Dreamcast particularly. Again, I have the Dreamcast still in my dad's house somewhere.
I'm sure you do.
And I still have Blue Stinger sitting around, but it doesn't...
So that means this is perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Emulation's perfectly legal as long as you've got an original copy that you paid for somewhere.
Yeah. But
Same
sadly, the Dreamcast used to work if I put it on an angle upside down.
Hey.
Anime body pillow!
Yeah, she's got a stare on that I'm not sure I like. I think the drunk pirate has approached this in the most efficient way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think these video files have gotten fucked up.
I don't know, man. Looks kind of metal. Giant crab monsters
trouble,
from beyond the stars.
I mean, that's the trouble. I mean, obviously they're trying to evoke the spirit of a sort of a half-remembered daydream, right? But there's no way to tell if it is a half-remembered daydream or a graphical fuck-up.
That's just the Dreamcast experience.
Man, he loves doing that little gesture. And he loves doing that little gesture. It's like the little handshake they've got.
Oh, I can play again. Oh, okay, here we go. Also, I can swap between characters, so I'm pretty sure I can play as, look at that.
Oh, his name's Dogs.
Dogs Bauer.
Dogs Bauer. So
And
cool
Dogs,
that... So...
Dogs has, like, a bow gun, which you can't actually aim very well, and usually
somehow-
just fires wild.
somehow runs even more like a ponce than Elliot does.
And really slowly, too. Like,
Yes.
that song's stuck in your head. And he's got a... Oh, I don't have that. I love, like, he walks like a model, too.
And the catwalk.
In 2008, when I was working at the Bowery, I was standing out the front on, like, a fucking freezing fucking Tuesday at, like, 1 in the morning, and this homeless lady was walking along, and she was wearing one of those shirts that you got from... Oh, fuck. She was wearing one of those shirts that you get from, like, Lifeline and shit, and it just happened to be a Dreamcast shirt, and...
This has just been a long succession of monsters jumping out and then something else shooting it for you.
Character! Look at the hands.
Wind, commented Dogs' shirt.
The helicopter, and he managed to bail out, and now a fairy sprite's gonna give him a vision of nightmarish
Well,
things that sound like the start of a metal video.
so far you haven't sold this very well as an incredibly boring game.
Oh,
I mean,
give it a minute.
look at it. We've had a helicopter crash and a naked pixie in the first 5 seconds.
If there's no nipples, it doesn't count as naked.
I do like that old style character modelling where all the limbs don't look like they're part of the body, but look like they've sprouted from the body.
Yeah, they all look like nude Jerry Anderson puppets. It's just the elbows, joints there.
But I'm liking that attention to detail on his hairline.
Oh god, look at it!
Look there, you could spear an apple on them.
I bet there's just dead flies just on them constantly.
And now some spoken dialogue that we're completely talking over because that's how much we don't give a shit.
Do you read? Dispatch D7 equipped ready.
You are missing some pretty hilariously bad voice acting, but one of the things I love about this game as well is all the characters' neutral animations are just this weird drunken wobble. Like, none of the characters just sit still. It's really fucking peculiar, and you'll really notice it.
I guess the animators have to look busy somehow.
Although I will give this credit over Resident Evil, the guy knows how to punch.
Yeah, he's looking pretty tasty there. Oh no!
It's Hacksaw Jim Polygon.
A sinister pirate is watching us.
Can tell he's sinister because he has a bandana.
And swaying back and forth, going, "Yeah, I love you.
I repeat.
I like your hair."
I thought I was on a ship."
But yeah, something's gone wrong on this aquatic research station, and I'm part of the. I don't know. I think I'm part of the crew of the Sequest DSV.
Blimey, this is getting action-packed.
Yeah.
Listen to that shouty woman.
Don't worry, the action starts packing in thick. Do you remember Sequest?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I remember Sequest.
Sequest is like sub-sliders in the like sci-fi thing.
That's a special classification in the annals of history.
Yeah, in the hierarchy.
The sub-sliders.
Sub-sliders, because there were a lot of things that like weren't as popular. You know, you got your Star Treks and your Doctor Who's, and they're your majors, and then you get a little bit lower, and you start getting things like Battlestar Galactica, and then you get like sliders. And I love making fun of sliders fans.
I love the name Elliot because it looks a bit like toilet spelled backwards. Wait, was that
there's a twinkle. He's got a thing, I think.
Wait, what was that first corpse wearing?
A lovely dress, actually.
Yeah, I thought that it might have been. Why was she wearing a lovely dress? Yeah, she's chocked to the nines.
It was probably some sort of like
party. Was it like BioShock? This all happened during the New Year's Eve party or something.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, then there's like Sequest DSV. A friend of mine was actually a big fan of the shitty like 2-season series, 7 Days. And actually actually managed to download them all. And he said it took him like 8 weeks and was probably downloading it all from one other 7 Days fan.
Yeah, I mean, we give American television a lot of credit, but the only ones we see are the good shit that gets exported. And there's a lot of chaff. There she is again.
Yeah. Hey, that looks safe.
Yeah, that doesn't look suspicious.
I am Crabius.
That man has spider legs. I
don't know what a Hassie is.
Ain't no biggie. Wait, Hassie. That rings a bell. Is that like a drink?
Possibly. But like, I like the drink part. Like, this isn't a good example because this game's just balls-ass awful. And
look at all that texture fuck-ups the emulator's having.
Oh, yeah. My Dreamcast doesn't work anymore. It was at the point where I could get it to work.
Good afternoon, Gabriel.
Hey, Yahtzee.
And good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the second edition of Let's Drown Out.
That should be going away. I don't know why that top bit's not going away.
I'm not sure it will be on the recording, actually. Oh, there it is. We're playing Gabriel's Choice this week.
Regrettably.
Now, this is a game... Oh, a bit of a problem with the Alpha channel there. This is a game I know shit all about, which is rare for the games Gabriel brings to these things. Because I didn't have a Dreamcast, of course.
I did. It was awesome. This game wasn't. I was an idiot. The story is, like, I went to the midnight launch for the Dreamcast, and I had two choices of games. I had Ready to Rumble, a really fun arcade-style fighting boxing game,
if you say so.
Blue Stinger.
Which is
this. And I chose Blue Stinger, and it was a mistake that I had to live with. Oh,
now,
dear Lord.
Tell me a little bit about Blue Stinger, because I'm picturing it as meaning something to do with someone getting an erection in a very cold environment.
It followed on from the success of like the early Resident Evil. So this game was from '99, if memory serves, and again, I went from like the Nintendo 64 to the Dreamcast. That was my jump in owned consoles,
99.
and that was amazing. Oh yeah, this big long black screen, that was an acceptable load screen back in the Dreamcast days.
Well, you know, it doesn't kill the mood.
Christmas special at Hello Market.
Hello, Market.
Hello,
How
Market.
are you? Oh, I'm fine. Full of people and shops.
That's bitter rival. Goodbye shop.
By the way, a helicopter just exploded.
Yeah, there's sort of a big exposition dump if you don't push start for ages, because this was back when games were still designed like they were almost going to be arcade games.
So is this guy in the helicopter or just having a bit of a sleep on the pier?
Yeah, this is Elliot. He was in